Gary will your axe up. You think you're a badass about to resolve a attack with axe, and Gary's got another thing coming for you.
Frost Gary is probably the biggest troll modifier in any trial of Frost Gary.
Drop timings for this week. It's a pretty fast drop timing. You're starting to pot at 29 minutes and 52 seconds is what I started. Pretty much hitting the ramp at 50 seconds.
Yeah, potting then. I know a lot, like the actual entrance time is good if you pot then. Around 39 seconds, 38 is a good entrance. I think 39 is when he's actually faced away, and he'll kind of turn a bit, like he'll do a couple, like a extra bit of his turn, give you an extra little bit of time if you go at 39. So yeah, potting at 42 is pretty good.
Builds for the week. Build that we used was 6 conduit, 6 overpower, 6 predator, 6 rage, 3 berserker, 3 cunning, 3 discipline, and 3 wild frenzy. For lanterns for that one, I used Dress Lantern, whereas you use Pangar Lantern. I personally think any lantern this week is actually okay. Pangar, Dress Lantern, Emermain, really whatever you're feeling, I think is okay. The reason I didn't go Pangar, which I usually do in trials, is the frost proc on this one, I think generally comes at a bad timing. It usually comes during the time you're wanting to do the second boop. So that's going to cause it to, one, be really awkward to hit if you're really used to booping on his regular attacks. And then 2, it also, because he's slower, it's actually going to cause him to take longer for him to be targetable again.
Yeah, it's like what I tried Pang. I tried a strat where I wanted to try to kill him on first boop last cycle. And I know Dirk tried after. I was like, maybe we should try Pangar, and we tried it. And it was, yeah, it trolls your second boop, the time. Because last time he was getting chilled right as he'd recover from the first boop and stagger, and it makes it all take longer. So I was running Ember in the beginning of this cycle. I got like some 130 times and stuff. But I do think any of the lanterns are viable this week.
Also add on to that, the Pangar Lantern on the flip side really helps out on the second boop. He's going to be chilled on the second boop. So that second boop is going to give you a lot of extra time with him on the ground, which if you're like me, I actually ended up switching over to Pangar Lantern. Pretty much I started choking on the second boop. I couldn't get that chain stagger going. That Pangar Lantern really helps you chain those staggers together on that second boop if that's what you're struggling with.
Yeah.
Potions for the week. Everyone was just running the same Aether Drive, Frenzy, Blitz tonics. Shrowd has a extremely low stagger threshold. He's very easy to stagger. The staggers already come at extremely good time. The first stagger comes right after the first boop, which allows you to chain that downtime on him really easily. And then you get a second stagger on the second boop. Already, that's just the greatest stagger timings. No real need to bring the stagger tonic. With that being said though, I think you could. I think it's possible. If you are not going for a sweat strategy, if you're going just for a sub 3, I don't think it's a bad thing to bring a stagger tonic. You can probably most likely get him down for a third time because once again, his stagger threshold is so low. I think it could definitely work out. Give it a try. If you don't like it, go back to Aether Drive.
I don't know if it's needed, but I know one thought for a group time before we started using Pike was to try to, and because of how annoying his enrage the boop is, we were thinking about trying to go for a stagger before he even enrages and get like a break chain to force him into Aether, get him to a quarter so he never even goes for boops. We break 1, maybe 2 parts before he gets up, and then when he runs away to Aether instead of booping, we just go full send it on him. That was one thought, and a stagger tonic in that situation might be useful.
Viable weapons for the week. Going down the list, Aether Striker is definitely viable. Hammer, definitely viable. Sword, I think is definitely viable. Chainblade, definitely viable. Pike, I think is viable.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think Captain Maelstrom said that he was able to just barely get it done. Axe, I don't think is viable.
Yeah, he's kind of a jumpy boy. Axe might be a pain.
His attack timings are already pretty hard to fit in axe attacks with. He's a pretty fast attacking behemoth, and to get your axe attacks in between those attacks is pretty hard. And then you have to contend with all of him running around and all the other BS he does. I don't think you can get a sub 3 this week with axe.
Yeah, axe would probably be a tough one.
Repeaters, I think it's like right on the edge of being possible to get sub 3.
I'd almost put it with axe, maybe not mess around with it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really hard to get a sub 3. I think it could maybe be doable. I know repeaters saw some pretty good buffs. We have extra lantern power as well. Could maybe get it done, but yeah, it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot harder than it's worth if you can.
100% agree. Mistakes in your run or improvements you're looking to make.
Me going out of my way to lose Predator every time I could was probably it. I think he missed goop on me, both boops, and I just said, no, you know what? You missed. I'll fix that for you real quick.
Yeah, hey, let me just bathe myself in scoop for you. It seems like that's what you wanted me to do.
Yeah, I couldn't even notice you didn't quite hit me.
Mistakes for my run, of the plenty, the biggest mistakes that would have easily got to me possibly 30 seconds off my time was better part focus and better RNG. So on the second boop, so I actually got pretty decent boop timings. Second boop, Gary spawns right underneath his wing. And so guess what Gary tanks? Clap. I missed the part break on his clap, which ends the stagger chain that I need to be hitting on him for the second boop, and he goes into another enrage. That really sucked. Without that one thing happening, probably would have had a pretty decent time. Past that though, there's more things that went wrong. We got another really good boop, and then once again, just the parts were falling off not at the right time. I didn't get a stagger, so like not hitting the head was a big mistake here. I should have hard focused the head here to try to get a stagger, and I didn't get a stagger, and he got off a 4th rage.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a yikes. Run.
That's easily like 20 seconds added just to him being enraged. Strategy inside the arena. The strategy for this one, for the first 30 seconds of the fight, it is all brawl. You are just fighting with him as best as you can and trying to get him to go into enrage as quickly as possible and being set up well for when you need to boop him. As soon as he enrages, looking to bait that boop. To bait the boop, you want to...
If you're playing strikers, you want to be just out of range of being able to get a monster, I think, of his face.
Just close enough that you could spit at him.
Yeah, exactly. And that seems to work fairly well for the boop, as messed up as it is now.
Once you get the boop, you're going to try to chain it into a stagger right as he's getting up.
Like, I put a lot of my early damage on this boop into his wing, so I don't get the stagger too early by focusing the head. So you want to get as much value out of his stagger states as possible.
After that is just round 2 for the boop. So you repot up at this point. After you get the boop, it is once again looking to chain stagger. On this one, it should be part break, stagger, part break.
Yeah. That's really all this fight is the beginning can be a pain, but you're just trying to get out your damage. The beginning is about forcing the rage, staying alive and forcing his enrage as early as possible, and then just trying to bait boop after boop and getting out your staggers and stuff in between.
If you're not going for a sweat strategy, if you're just going for a sub 3, it's going to be the exact same. You're going to be brawling with him for the first 30-40 seconds, and then you're going to be baiting the boops and trying to train as many staggers as you can. You should still be able to get a stagger, the first stagger on him pretty easily after the first boop. Second boop probably won't be staggered, and you may have to go to a third boop or something like that before you finally start getting another chain in. An important timing to remember though is that 2 minutes he's going to be looking to go into Aether mode, and once he's in Aether mode, you are not going to want to bait the boops anymore. He will not take the bait anymore. He will start running away and spawning clones and throwing orbs everywhere. And at this point, you just want to go after him aggressively. Top times for the week. Top time for solos right now is 124. You're going for a better time. I think a better time is definitely doable. I think like 120, maybe even sub 120.
I think it's sub 120. I've had some runs where I could smell the sub 120, like in the 1-teens. So I think it's possible. I don't think you get much deeper than that. Like, I don't think you really get, outside of really good RNG and really good play, I don't think you get a whole lot lower than maybe like a 116, 117.
Yeah. Top 5 right now is 133. I think it's definitely going to be sub 130 for top 5.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I think people will be able to push a little harder.
And then top 100 is 243. I think for solos, top 100, I think it's definitely going to get below 230.
220, 230, something like that, I'd probably say.
Yeah, I could definitely believe 220. Groups, top time, 47 seconds right now. You guys think you can go faster than that? That seems pretty damn fast.
Yeah, but not by much, I don't think. Realistically, like 45, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say 46.
Yeah, just somewhere right around there. Like not much faster if we could.
Top 5 for groups right now, it's 118. Definitely going to go, I think sub 1 for sure.
Like just sub 1, and it might make it. I'd say around 52 might be safe.
And then top 100 for solos. I was going to go pretty aggressive and say 130 at the beginning of the week, but after seeing the times on the boards out for a while now, I'm thinking more like 145.
Yeah, I'd say so. I know when I was asked yesterday, I said probably just under a minute, somewhere just not too far under a minute. So yeah, 145, or I mean 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, not 1 minute, not 1 minute, not 1 minute, not 1 minute. Yeah, not too far under 2 minutes. So yeah, so like 145, 150 range might make it, something like that. I don't think it'll go to, like, I don't know if it'll get to 130, but I think just under 2 minutes might make it.
I think 145 is already pretty aggressive guess, but it's just so stacked after that right now.
Yeah.
Guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hey guys, don't forget to leave a comment if you got anything and you like the content. Think about subscribing. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers for Dauntless Partner, and it would really help me out if you guys did. Appreciate it. See you guys next time.